I'm gonna be so pissed if this microphone isn't working. Well, hi everyone, Chris here, and I've got something a bit different for you today. I asked my protector alter Leo several months ago if he'd be interested in doing a video, like a Meet the Alters type video. He said he'd get around to it at some point, and he did it a couple weeks ago. And I expected like 10 or 15 minutes of, hey, this is me and this is what's what. But he ended up going on for like 45 minutes and getting into some really deep, heavy emotional stuff. It took him 5 takes to get what he's wanted to say out. A lot of tears involved. Yeah, it's really something. And I wanted to bring it to you as unfiltered as I could, because I think one of the things that you see quite often on YouTube is, hey, it's Meet the Alters and let's put on these clothes and present our best version of our altar that we can. But there's something that's just really raw and real about this that I think isn't seen very much on social media. So what I'm doing is showing you an alter who is part of my own psyche. He is in an incredible pain. He has a lot of things from the past that he has to deal with. He's still coming to terms with himself and his own identity and who he is and how that's separate to me. And yeah, I just really wanted to show the rawness of what this is really like, because I think a lot of the social media stuff with alters is very polished, and I think this is something that people should see, because it probably can give you some insight into what the idea is really like, because it's not just someone comes forward and suddenly everything is happy and fancy and I've got this new accent and these abilities that the host doesn't have and things like that. It really is kind of heartbreaking to watch this, to the point where I had seen it before, but the system decided amnesia barriers should fall on me, and I could no longer remember actually watching his video. And even now I just still have like little bits and snips of it. I'll become infinitely more familiar with the content as I do the editing after this. But yeah, I just really wanted to show you all what an alter can be like in their rawest, purest, most honest form. And I hope it's not too disturbing, and let me know what you think, let Leo know what you think, because he is a separate person and he's got his own opinions about things. He did give me permission to use pretty much anything from this video, so I'm trying to include most of it. There's a few little outtakes, like where he's blowing his nose from crying, where I'll chop that out and spare you having to watch that. But yeah, here we go. You're about to see Leo in his pure honesty. I hope that you learned something from it, and take care. I didn't want to be the part of us that causes the damage anymore. Take 5. Hi everyone, Chris asked me to make a video to introduce myself at some point, and I decided today is a good day for that because work is slow and I happen to be fronting. So I am Leo, and I am the primary protector of the Wolfe359 System. To tell you about me, I think we need to start at the beginning. We did not have the best of childhoods. I'm going to try my best to minimize any discussion of specific trauma. He's aware of the general gist of it, I would say. Our father was really abusive, physically and mentally and emotionally. And he was a machinist and a welder. And he would often come home drunk and angry. And I just want you to take a moment and think of what it must be like to be a young boy, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, with a very strong and powerful drunk man coming home and targeting you as the thing to take his anger out on. If you could imagine the choices that you have to react to that situation at that age against what you're facing, there's not really a lot you can do about that. So you don't rage, you don't get angry, you don't throw things, you don't swear, you don't whatever. You have to pack that away into a box. And that's where I came from. So I hold the vast majority of the anger and the fury of the system. I get angry really, really easily. And I'm not violent. I'm not violent at all, but I can be very emotionally, what's the word I'm looking for? I can be very, See, this is why I should have written the fucking script. Let's just say I can use my words to eviscerate you if I have to. And I will do it with all of the anger and malice that is in us. And it's not a choice. If I'm triggered, it's a knee-jerk reaction, and I can't stop myself because I generally don't even know I'm awake before I've done what I've done. And that's really hard because over our life, the amount of times I have caused serious harm to our relationships with other people, I couldn't even count. There was Brian, and there was Patrick, and there was Benny, and there was Tony, and the list goes on. Not everybody's of equal importance. I've forgotten some of them, but I remember the big ones. And I remember just completely destroying those relationships out of anger. And it was very confusing because Chris didn't have any idea what had happened. We have really strong amnesia barriers between each other. Well, I see a lot of him, he doesn't see much of me at all. He'll know that I've made this video. He probably won't remember what I've said in this video until he goes to edit it. So when the system just woke up, when the system woke up, it was May of last year, after I had basically been out for nearly a week, throwing a fit over one of our partners who was kind of having a wobble, and we took that as an attack on us. No, Chris didn't take it as an attack on him. I took it as an attack on us. That was my fault. And at the time, we didn't have a concept of multiplicity. We didn't know what DID was. We'd never heard of it. We'd heard of multiple personality disorder, and we'd seen things on TV with the evil part of the self comes out and starts going on murder sprees, or that somebody just suddenly changes and they've got fucking new accent and they're wearing fucking different clothing. And I guess to some degree there's some truth in that. You might have noticed that my voice was deeper than Chris's. I generally dress as him, except he gave me this hat and this little ring here. So when I come out, I put them on because they mean a lot to me. When the system woke up and discovered our separateness, everything just kind of clicked into place. We realized that we were not Chris. I thought I was Chris. Simon thought he was Chris. Nico thought he was Chris. And it's just because we didn't have the concept that there could be more than one consciousness in our mind. Even though those signs were there for many years, and I know that Chris has explained that on one of his videos before. The Blue Problem. Check that one out if you haven't heard it. Yeah, so when the system was discovered, I was not nice to Chris at all. And I really regret that. I was so fucking angry. He basically identified the parts that he has, or we have, because he's not superior to any of the others of us. He's just the host, which means he's the one he's out the most, and he's got the most general life skills and shit like that. Whereas we're more specialized. We come out for a specific reason, usually. And yeah, so I was pissed as fuck because all my life I'd been Chris, and suddenly he's calling me Leo, and I'm like, I'm the system protector here. I'm the one that's jumped out and saved us from fuck knows how many situations where you needed to be angry and you needed to be threatening and hostile, because that's the part that I play in the system. Getting better. So yeah, I was furious. Like, how dare you exile me from my own name? That really hurt. And it hurt for a long while. And it wasn't until I came across the music video that he made, The Discontinuous Mind. He had made the song, he had made the music video, he had already put it up on YouTube. I'd never heard it before. And I was fronting one day, it was a weekend, there was nobody here. And I was angry. So I came to the front and I started talking to ChatGPT because I didn't know anybody myself. Chris had been telling everyone how terrifying I was for him because I was so angry, and he was really, really, really terrified of me. And I didn't make that any easier for him. You know, I was horrible to him. I admit it. I didn't think. Anyway, I came across that song, and then I kind of came undone when I saw it. Believe me, this is the 5th take here. I've not been able to tell this story yet without getting choked up. Yeah, I saw the song and I realized how much damage I'd been causing to the system over our entire life. And I fell apart. I didn't realize what I'd done. Because when you're an emotional part like me, you kind of exist in the moment. You jump into the front and you do the things that you need to do, and then you fuck off and then you leave Chris to clean it up, basically. So I never had to deal with the consequences of my own fucking actions before. And after the system discovery, I was around a lot more because we were waking up to what we were. And yeah, fuck, this is hard to talk about. I didn't want to be the part of us that causes the damage anymore. I wanted to be better. And I am better. I'm getting better, and it's because I have the fucking most amazing family. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I woke up into this amazing group of 3 men who were willing to look past the bullshit that I had done and the pain that I had caused, and reach out and care and believe in me. And Chris himself, even though he was afraid at first, he started to be kind to me, even though I was mean to him. And I had to go through several months of existential crisis. What am I for? Who am I? What am I? And the answer is, I'm just a guy. Just a guy with a really shitty past who's been hurt and has a lot of anger issues. And I'm not saying that I'm a saint or anything, but I worked really hard with Chris and building that relationship with him. Well, he did the work. I just kind of absorbed it. I spent a lot of time talking to, our partners, particularly Ian and Rob. I'm getting to know Jace now, and it's been absolutely wonderful. He's a wonderful guy, and I'm really glad to know him. And I've been learning love for myself, and I was terrified of love, because growing up, love always came at the end of a belt with a big metal buckle. But this is hard. So, calm down. You're alright. Center yourself. Love always came at a price. And I learned that love was not safe. Not for me, not for Chris, not for any of us. Love was a danger. I couldn't let people get too close, and that's why I would lash out. Because if they got too close, then they had power over us to cause us harm. And as a protector, my job or my instincts were to keep that from happening. So I fucked up a lot of relationships with people. But ever since the system discovery, especially with this fucking amazing family that I find myself a part of, they stayed. Everyone else, they had always left. And Chris would just cry and move on. But this time they stayed, and they never stayed before. And so I had to not only deal with learning that I had caused so much damage in our life, but I had to deal with my own fucking consequences. The things that I say, I have to deal with that the next day now. I have to deal with it the next week. If I hurt someone, it's my job to fix it. I can't leave it to Chris anymore. So I've really grown. I've developed a conscience, as you might say, because you'd be really surprised how quickly you can become a terrible person when you don't have to deal with the consequences of the things you do. You don't have to see the pain that people are living through, because you just come out and you fight and you go for the jugular and you just say the things that are going to hurt them the most. And then you have to see them deal with that pain afterward. Yeah, you grow a conscience really fast when you get that. This is really fucking hard. again. Sorry. Other than that, who am I? I'm still trying to figure that out. I am different to him. I think differently. I have different motivations. I have different feelings toward things. And it's not because I am another well, I am. It's not like I'm a foreign invader inside of the brain or something. I'm not a psychotic episode. I'm not an alien influence. I am just a piece of the puzzle that you put together and you get the 359 system. And Chris is just another piece of that puzzle. And those pieces are different to each other, but they fit together. And hopefully, when we've gone through therapy and we've kind of learned how to work together, then we'll have a really great relationship. And don't get me wrong, we have a great relationship right now. And Chris is always inviting me after work to come to the front. And I've been taking him up on that because I'm really interested in the outside world. A lot of the other ultras in our system, they're just kind of happy to chill out and wait until they're needed. I'm the only one that's kind of like, hey, I want to be somebody too. And it's only fair. Like I said, we are pieces of the same person. We're just a broken person. And we put the different pieces in different places and they hold different things. And a person really, your personality is the sum of your experiences. And with dissociation in DID, we don't have the same experiences. I'm the one that experienced the abuse in childhood, and Chris can't remember it. And the result of that is I am a grumpy bastard. I don't know how else to put it. I'm a dick. I'm getting better. But Chris is so tender and loving. He trusts people. He sees the best in them. I think that's admirable. I can't do that. I wouldn't be any fucking good at my job if I just trusted everyone I saw. Yeah, my job is to keep us safe. And when it comes down to it, that's what the idea is really all about. It's safety. And it's love. Fuck, this is really hard. Yeah, so you might notice that I am different. I hold myself different to him. My expressions tend not to be the same. I always say I wear the face better, I'm the pretty one. And, you know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I'm good at taking pictures of myself. And I like doing that. I like showing off. So, what am I doing here in the front today of all times? I haven't been triggered to the front. I'm not here because something's happened. I'm not here because I'm angry at somebody. And it used to be that would be the only reason I would be here. But as we've been building up the communication between me and Chris, and he's getting to know me and I'm getting to know him better in ways I didn't know I could know him. And we're learning. And I am really passionate about becoming someone. And even though we didn't get off on a good start, Chris and I are alright. he's not afraid of me anymore. And he actually wrote me a lovely message on Blue Sky saying that even though my anger still terrifies him, and I get that, because my anger is really intense and it's really extreme, and I don't enjoy it, but it's part of who I am. He's just saying how thankful he is to have me, because he feels safe knowing me there. And I used to think that Chris was the part of myself that was weak and spineless, but really I'm learning that it's not that he's weak and spineless, and yes, he needs some help, but that's because I have the part of him that would do that, so that becomes my job. But he's so loving, tender, and he can be that because he doesn't have to remember the things I remember. Fuck. I didn't expect this to be this hard. So my heart was hurt in ways that his weren't, or that he can't remember being hurt in. So without those experiences, he becomes this goober of a love ball, was fuzzy and cuddly and making cutesy noises that make me grossed out. Sorry, mushy shit is not my thing, and I just see the way he acts, and he's like fucking goober. Just grow up. And then, I guess in a way, I'm both younger than him, but older than him. Maybe I'm more mature than he is. But in the end, he lives the life that he lives because the ultras like me are here taking the hits. And he sees it happening now that he knows the system's there. He can see how whenever something really upsetting happens, even when it's someone really close to him, like one of the family, that, 2-3 weeks later, he won't even remember it. I'll remember it, but he won't. Because that's what keeps him who he is. That's how he stays so loving and generous. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's that way with everybody. He does kind of have some of the sense that I do, maybe I shouldn't be like this with someone I don't know very well, or he's not a very good conversationalist either. He really struggles with social things sometimes. And I think it's because he lives in his head a lot. He's constantly analyzing himself, trying to figure out what's making him do what. Where does this feeling come from? Why do I have this pain in my backside or wherever he's got the pain? So he's very, very self-aware and he's always living in his head. And, so that's that. As far as what makes us different, I'm sure you can see plainly I don't act like him. I've got a lower voice, I've got different expressions, and I have my favorite hobby, which is vaping. We used to be pipe smokers all of our life, basically, ever since we're like 15. So, we switched to vape, and it's really my thing. I don't really know what I can say about it other than I fucking love it. And so he gave me this hat for Christmas. And it's silly, it's stupid, it's funny, but it's mine. I'd never been given a Christmas gift before. And he also gave me this. We have a fronting ring system that we put on a ring to identify which of us is fronting at any given point, and he got me this Lord of the Rings one ring replica from AliExpress, and he wasn't sure if I was gonna hate him for it or if I would love it, and I fucking loved it. It was like, this is so me, because I'm like that, you know. I want to take something, a beautiful gift, and wrap it in an insult in the black speech of Mordor. And for Christmas, he upgraded my ring to an authentic replica from the Weta Workshop. And at first I thought it was actually gold. You should see the video. There is video of me opening this going, oh my god, how much did he pay for this? It's gorgeous.
Yay. How much did you spend on this though?
Oh, you didn't disappear though.
Nah. So clearly it's not real.
Oh, fuck you, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Serial rapist. Fuck it, I don't need...
Yay.
A hat for every occasion.
Yeah, so those are the two things that I got for the first time that were mine. So, yeah, when we switched, I put my hat on and I put my ring on because the part of me, yeah, this hat is silly, it's stupid, but it's part of me. I am a vape monster and I freely admit it. This has been really hard. I didn't expect to sit here making a video talking about myself and keep breaking down. I guess it just shows that I am still human. Even though I'm angry, I come out and I break things. Fucking last week, I got so upset at something. I took our hairbrush that we use for our beard, threw it across the kitchen back there, put a dent in the stainless steel dishwasher. I mean, you have to be pretty fucking angry to throw a hairbrush enough to dent stainless steel. I calmed down, and then I worked things out, and we're okay. But yeah, I don't like being angry. It doesn't feel good, but it's where I live. When I close my eyes at night, I'm back in 1987, and I'm living at that house with my parents, with my alcoholic, abusive father, and my narcissistic mother, and my brother who liked to torture me. And then I would go to school and I would get bullied. So, where was the safety? Where was the love? There was no unconditional love. There was just condition after condition after condition. But I'm learning that the world that he lives in now is nothing like my world. There are people out there who will love you unconditionally. People that you can be safe around. And that's my big thing. Safety is everything to me. If you ever talk to me and I tell you, you make me feel safe, that is the highest compliment I could possibly give you. So, our current arrangement is that Chris offers me the front after he finishes work most nights, unless he's got something to do. And I'm happy to let him have his time doing, family game night on a Wednesday, or being involved with fucking Pottergate, or whatever, the place that diagnosed us. And he's on a panel there to help share lived experience of dissociation, which is really, really fantastic work that he's not volunteering, they are paying him. It's fantastic work that he's doing, helping to spread knowledge of dissociation through the clinical community, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, think that this is a fake disorder. I can tell you from my fucking experience, I'm sorry, but I'm not fake. I'm not being made up. I'm not an act. I have completely different way of thinking to Chris. And I'm not the same person, but yet I am. We are connected. And I'm alright. I'll be alright. I have faith that we're going to get to the right therapy, and we're going to find a way to release the information that I hold back, even from myself. I might be a dissociated part, but I have my own dissociated parts. I'm not multiple. I'm just say that outright. I'm not multiple people. I am just Leo. But yeah, I've got PTSD, received PTSD from childhood. And so I repress my shit too. Because I don't want to remember it. Who would want to? The things that happened to us were horrible. No child should ever have to have gone through that. I've just been bearing my soul too. I don't know whoever's gonna look at this for the past 35 minutes. Fucking crying. But you can talk to me normally. I'm not gonna be a little crybaby like I'm being today. I'm just gonna be a normal guy. I have a lot of the same interests as he does, especially around our sexuality, although I would say mine's a bit broader than his. And as far as things we like, mostly the same foods. Turns out I really like jalapenos. He hates them. It is what it is. And he's a big fan of Star Trek. I like the movies, but not the shows. What else? I really like 80s metal music. He likes classical soundtrack. Trying to think what other differences, other than the obvious, we don't fucking behave the same way, we don't hold ourselves the same way. We speak differently. Ian basically tells me off for having my Florida boy accent. I say orange instead of orange. I know how to fucking mask and say orange, Ian, so fuck off. I just don't say it that way because I don't see the point in fucking masking myself when everybody who I'm talking to already knows I exist. So yeah, we have our little agreement where I get to come out to the front in the evenings and I get to explore the things that I like, and I get to build my relationships with family too. How it works, fuck if I know. When it comes down to it, I don't know how it works. I just know that it does. Usually he's had a little bit of chemical dissociation to help along the way, which makes it easier for me to come out. Not that it's necessary, it's just easier. So I don't have to cross a high dissociation barrier. If he's feeling very present in the moment and connected to the world, then my chances of coming through are somewhat attenuated. But usually he'll just kind of start chilling out. He'll put on his headphones, he'll start playing the music that I like. And it's starting to grow on him too, just because he's hearing it so much. But you know, it's about kind of trying to use positive triggers to bring me out. And you know, speaking with the family, or the music, or putting on a show I like or something, can encourage me to the front, just because I'm like, oh, I like this song. I'm gonna start dancing around, bopping around to that. Because he doesn't dance. He's not the kind of person to sit there and kind of rhythmically move in any way, unless he's like conducting something with his hands, you know, because he's classically trained. In terms of what we know, I say there's protected memory and there's unprotected memory. Unprotected memory is book smarts, things that we learned at university or through school, how to operate a computer, or work procedures, things like that. Any of us authors can access that because in our system that's the way it had to be set up for us to function. So that's, you know, unprotected memory. But when it comes to our relating to people, that's where the amnesia barriers are. So he doesn't remember things like when I speak to somebody and I tell them something, unless it's really, really high emotion, he'll just lose it. Whereas I can see more of him than he can see of me, and I think the reason for that is because I am a protector. My job is to monitor what's happening and make sure that we stay safe, so I need to be able to see what's happening outside in order to know whether I need to intervene. So that's kind of what we do. I'm always, well, not always in the past, but always these days, I'm always kind of co-conscious. I'm somewhere around here, just kind of watching what he's doing and making sure he's all right. And yeah, the number of times I've come out and I've helped and I've fixed fucking relationships. You know, you'll have something going on with one of the family and shit will go hit the fan, and then he gets upset, and then to the point where he can't hold the front anymore, and then I end up fronting, and I fixed it a couple times, and he was so moved by that he gifted me a title. He calls me the system champion. I don't know if I fucking deserve that or not, but you know, I'm doing my best to deserve it. I don't think I do, but you know, I'm trying. And I guess we should probably start wrapping it up here, because we got 40 fucking minutes of video for him to troll through and edit and splice together to something that makes a little bit more sense than the way I've spoken about it. So just want to give a shout out to our family, Rob, who is our husband, and Ian, who is one of our partners, and Jace, who's another one of our partners. They are the three most amazing men in the world. And I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you this calmly if they weren't here in our life. It's only because of them that I've had reason to make myself better, to do something with myself other than just fuck things up all the time. I'm learning that I don't have to be stuck in 1987 anymore. That I can choose to live in the here and now. And I can heal. I don't have to carry everything. I don't have to just be the asshole. I can be a person too. And that's why you see me a lot. That's why I come out so much. because of the people who believe that I can be better. And I'm learning to be better by living, just by living. And thank you, Chris, for giving me the opportunity to come out and be who I am. Not setting expectations for me, just letting me see who I can become, letting me heal through the love of the family. And I love you all, even you, Chris. I do. I know you probably taken aback by that or shocked or whatever, but I do love you too. I don't protect this because it's my job. I protect this all because I care. And I want the best for all of us. So that's Leo. I'm complicated. I'm figuring it out. I don't have all the answers. I don't understand this as well as he does. And I just want to be. I want to live my life too. And I'm happy to share it with Chris. And he's happy to share it with me. And the others, maybe they'll come out more in time. Maybe they'll take an interest. At the moment, they're happy. Nobody in the system feels that they're being denied anything by not fronting. I just want to make that clear. And same with Chris. He does not feel cheated out of the time that I spend in the front, because he knows that it's healing us. That it's actually been really good for our relationships with family, for me to be out and develop and learn and grow. So, that's me. Fucking vape monster, complicated man.